Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, you champions? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I really do appreciate you. And today, we are going to talk about the fact that there's a pecking order, brother. Where do you fall in the pecking order? Pecking order, of course, means how you stack up against other guys. We look at it a lot like chickens who have a pecking order. There's always the alpha rooster, and then you have the beta, gamma, so on and so forth. And if you take 10 roosters, they are going to arrange themselves in that pecking order because that's what we do instinctually as mammals. That's what we do instinctually as not only chickens, but human beings. To arrange ourselves, and women's attraction for you is based on it. So women obviously are always attracted to the top tier dudes when it comes to the pecking order. So what I'm going to talk about today is how, yes, there is a pecking order. Number two, I'm going to talk about where you likely stack up in that pecking order. And of course, number three, how we can improve your position in that pecking order and what are the most important elements to work on in yourself to give yourself the best chance possible to attract a girl who, too, is at the top tier of the pecking order. What's women's station in the pecking order based on? Obviously, their physical appearance. So when it comes to women, they're oftentimes just relegated to how they're born, how they look, kind of how they developed into the current woman that they are. Whereas with men, we can really work on this stuff. And this is why I love being a dating coach for men, is because I can take a guy who, for all intents and purposes, is at the bottom of the pecking order, and I can bring him to the very top. And I'm going to discuss how we do that today. Couple quick announcements. First of all, I got back from the doctor today. I'm recording this on Monday after my doctor's appointment. Some of you may have heard that I did get into a really gnarly mountain biking crash I talked about in the previous episode. Got a concussion, and it turns out I fractured a couple ribs and I strained my rotator cuff. I'm like, my rotator cuff, isn't that in my shoulder? It hurts down by my lats. Why is it that my shoulder isn't hurting? And he's like, oh, the rotator cuff goes from your shoulder down into your lats and you strained it really bad. And I was like, strained? It's kind of a pussy sounding word. Can we say like exploded? So when I go on my podcast today, could I be like, bro, my rotator cuff exploded? He's like, nope, you strained it. And I was like, God to the hell, that sounds pretty fucking weak. But anyway, gentlemen, I'm okay. I'm on the mend. I'm still a little bit dizzy from the concussion that I got, which is why if you're watching on video, I don't have it dark behind me. I kind of have the room lit up. It's just easier on my eyes. But I'm back in the fight, gentlemen, ready to deliver the high quality content. Second announcement, and this is the big one. I am doing a frame control masterclass, gentlemen, on July 26th, 27th, and 28th. Times will be posted starting next Monday, where you can get in at the early bird rate of $97. So today's Thursday. I want you to kind of put it in your mind that on Monday, with that podcast, I'm going to include a link for you to get in on the early bird special, on this special 2-hour masterclass event. That's going to be you and me and several other brothers on a Zoom call where I could teach you everything I know about frame control, the single most important part of seducing a woman. If you miss this masterclass, I'm going to hit myself on the fucking head so hard, I'm going to give myself another concussion, you idiot. Ooh, I won't do that again. That hurt. Goddamn broken ribs, man. They fuck you up. Guys, I need you to show up, come back on Monday, sign up to this exclusive VIP masterclass that's all about frame control, which again is the single most important element of seducing a woman. Got no frame control, got no attraction. That's how it works. So show up on Monday. I'm going to have more information about that. The link will be live and you can sign up. And I'll tell you this, boys, the last time I did this in January for my NLP masterclass, it sold out within hours, gentlemen. So be Johnny on the spot, ready to go. This is going to be the sickest event ever. And as a bonus, I am doing a 3-week mini course with you, me, and a few other brothers where you get to ask me questions, and we're going to have coaching calls where you guys get to attend on Zoom and ask me questions personally. You get to experience what it's like to be in my 3-month coaching program, the most gangster, the most effective, the most potent dating coaching program that's ever been created, and you get to experience it. For how much? $97. No offense, bro, but if you're too cheap to invest 97 bucks in yourself, I don't know what to tell you, man. The way to get to the highest level is to invest in yourself, learn the shit that you need to learn, and become that tier 1 dude, which is what I know all you guys want to become. Final of the final note before we jump into the content. Gentlemen, the doctor told me had I not been wearing a helmet, I would have died. D-I-E-D, dead. I would have been gone. The podcast would have been gone. My coaching program would have been gone. No more MarkSing. I don't know about you, but that was a pretty intense wake-up call for me. Thank God I was wearing that helmet. I'm kind of pissed because it was like a $700 helmet and like one crash and it's obsolete. I got to throw it out now. I was also wearing body armor, one of those armored vests that you wear with like elbow pads, shoulder pads, back pads. That saved my ass, dude. I would have been in the fucking hospital. So if you ride motorcycles, if you ride mountain bikes, if you ride anything, including skateboards, whatever it is, please, brothers, wear a helmet. It literally saved my life. And all that happened to me is 30 minutes of being walking unconscious is what they call it, where you're conscious, but you don't remember anything. All I had was 30 minutes of that, some double vision. I still have a headache a little bit, but dude, I would have died. So think about it, especially you motorcyclists, you squids out there that I don't understand. You ride around with no fucking gear on, brother. If you fall, you're gonna fucking die. Very high chance. Don't be a squid. You have to dress for the fall. Don't dress for the ride. So that's my public service announcement. Please, gentlemen, at least wear a goddamn helmet, let alone other protective armor to protect you, because just like what happened to me, 1 second I'm writing, the next second was 20 minutes later and some doctor's interviewing me, asking me what I had for lunch. And I'm like, I'm gonna need more time to answer that question. Please get back to me on that. But gentlemen, I don't wanna see you guys die. I don't wanna see you get fucked up. Wear a helmet. It literally saved my life. All right, so this pecking order, gentlemen, as I said, women are relegated into their pecking order as far as their attractiveness is concerned, largely by their looks. We all know this is true. We as men can look at a woman and immediately tell where she lands in that pecking order. In fact, we have numbers to associate with women when we see them. Is she a 7? Is she an 8? Is she a 9 or a 10? If you take 10 people, the 10 out of 10 chick is going to be the number 1 position in that pecking order. The next chick's going to be a 9 and then an 8 and then a 7 and downward through the group, generally. There's also things like femininity, how she treats her man, her personality. That's very important. But the most important thing when it comes to our attraction to a woman is obviously her looks. I mean, let's not lie to each other. It's super important. Why is it important? Because her looks tell us how likely it is for her to have a healthy baby. Our attraction for her is all based on her ability to procreate. Her attraction for you is also based on your ability to procreate, or more importantly, your ability to pass on alpha level tier 1 high pecking order genes to her children. So when you have those attributes that communicate that you're high in the pecking order, she's going to get attracted to you. With women, we just get attracted to them based on their looks. That's why it's so important. So I kind of feel sorry for women because oftentimes they're not born attractive and there's not a lot they can do. Maybe they can get some surgery, they can wear makeup, which is a total cheat code, and they can do a few things to make themselves better, but you're not gonna get like a 5 who can look like a 10. Actually, in some instances you can. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those IG videos where you just get this fucking sea donkey who puts on makeup and a wig and then suddenly she looks like a 10. Makeup is unbelievable, but generally speaking, you get a girl who's born the way she is, it's kind of the way she is. She can up herself a little bit, but not much. With men, it's completely and absolutely different. I can take a bona fide 0 in the pecking order and bring him up to a 10. I swear on my father's grave, which is a swear that I only do when I'm completely and utterly serious and I want you to know how serious I am. You can do that. And I have done that for man after man after man who has come into my coaching program. A guy who's totally struggling with women, I can make him a girl magnet. A guy who's already good with women, dude, give me a couple months, dude. I will make that guy the girl magnet upon all girl magnets, getting more ass than a toilet seat, more girls, hotter girls than he's ever experienced before. Why? Because I lift him up in the pecking order. Now, when it comes to your station in the pecking order, I want you to be completely downright honest with me. If we took 10 dudes, where do you think you would land? Or you can phrase the question this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you land as far as attractiveness? Most guys I work with would give themselves usually a 5, 6, or 7. I personally give myself a 10, and I want to get you guys up to the level where you give yourselves a 10 too. Now, do I give myself a 10 because I'm good looking? No. I have a fucking beak for a nose, brother. I can smell the tea in China. My nose is so big. My face is starting to sag. I get a little bit of that fucking muffin top going unless I really work on it. I'm getting older. I got a concussion. I'm not the sharpest knife in the kitchen. So no, as far as my looks are concerned, I'm not a 10. As far as my frame, game, and the fact that I've worked on myself with NLP, fucking 10. And I will think that until the day that I die. Why? Because I've worked on what's going on inside my head with NLP. When you feel like a 10, girls are going to say that you're a 10. So the most important thing here is your belief system in yourself, where you feel you land. So I just asked you, where do you land? A lot of you guys said 7, 6, some said 5, some said 4. Maybe some are a little more confident that said 8 or 9. Some of you said 10. Whether or not you really believe that, I would honestly have to question. But if you truly believe you're a 10, why are you listening to this podcast, dude? You're done. Go get laid. Go get chicks, because obviously all those girls are attracted to you, right? Well, if they're not, then maybe it's not true that you think you're a 10. So give yourself that no bullshit assessment. Where do you land? All right. Now that we have that, we need to look at the different variables that make you attractive or unattractive to women as dials on a soundboard. I want you to imagine a soundboard in front of you, and you know how you can like push up the dial or bring it down. You can bring up the treble, turn down the bass, bring up the mid. I want you to look at that, but instead of talking about music, we're talking about your attractiveness as a man. We have things like your style. We have things like your height. We have things like the proportionality of your face, how good looking you are. We have things like your hair, your teeth, your facial hair. We have things like your personality, your ability to be funny, your ability to tell stories, your ability to be ambitious, to be passionate. And the two most important things, of course, are your belief in yourself, where you feel you are, and frame control. The two most important elements of seducing women, which again, boys, I'm doing a frame control masterclass on the 26th, 27th, and 28th. So if you want to learn the most important element of seduction, literally outside of working on the belief systems outside your head, you need to come to this masterclass. It's $97, bro. That's nothing. To invest that in yourself, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. Those of you who aren't going to show up on Monday and pull the trigger on this thing, I don't get you, bro. I honestly don't get you. Why you even listen to this podcast if you're not willing to do that? Just confusing to me. Anyway, we're looking at the dials and we're giving them a level of importance. Now, here's something that's really funny that I did, and I know a lot of you guys do too. You think that things like style are way more important than they actually are. What's actually the most important thing, of course, is frame, your belief in yourself, humor, telling stories, your personality. But a lot of us will think, okay, I need to up my style. And you get focused on that because it's easy to do. It doesn't require you facing your fears. It doesn't require you really improving yourself. You just go to the mall, drop some money on some Gucci clothes, and you think that's going to get you girls. Brother, the importance of style is so infinitesimally small compared to the importance of things like frame control, humor, ambition, that it's almost completely insignificant compared to what really matters. But if you're anything like me, you get hyper-focused on like, okay, dude, I need to up this style. Should I wear a ring on my thumb, or should I wear a ring on my index finger? What about the bracelet I was thinking about wearing? Should I wear that leather one, or should I get that metal one? What do you think girls will like better? So you like dwell on all this insignificant shit, and then you go out and still don't get results, and you're like, what the hell's happening here? I thought all I had to do was dress well and have some cool thumb ring, and girls would jump into the air and slide onto my dick. Obviously, we learn very quickly that that doesn't matter, but it is considered when you're being considered in the pecking order. So as you give yourself a score, let's say a lot of you guys, I'm guessing, are giving yourself a 6. Based off all the clients that I work with, that's usually where guys start out. About a 5 or a 6 is what they give themselves. It's actually a question that I put in their NLP intake form on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you give yourself? Because my guarantee is I'm going to make you feel like a 10 by the end of the 3-month program. Once you feel like a 10, girls just agree with it, because your frame is so strong that they go along with it. And that's frame control. Yes, the masterclass I'm doing at the end of this month. So We do want to consider style because your first impression is important. It's just not that important. So I'm dialing that up to about a level of 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's kind of important, but not really important. So if your style isn't dialed and you look like a high school kid or a homeless man or an unfrozen caveman, then perhaps you should up your style because that's going to boost you up in the pecking order a little bit. The next thing, of course, is things like hygiene. How well do you take care of your teeth? How well do you pluck your eyebrows? Do you have a unibrow sitting above your eyes that looks like a caterpillar died on your face? That's something to consider. Now we're upping our level in the pecking order just a little bit more. Now we start getting into game. Game includes your humor. How humorous are you? How charismatic are you? Do you make people feel better from having met you? Or do you leave them with a look on their face like you just sprayed them with shit mist? This is something you need to consider as well, which all goes into where you stand in the pecking order. Also, which is not often considered, is your charisma and your ambition. Ambition is one of the most important, underrated things of seducing women. Do you communicate ambition to women? If, for example, you have a passion project you're working on, you're really psyched on something such as mountain biking with a helmet on, boys, a little drop hint there. If you're really psyched on something and you communicate that to the woman, that raises you up in the pecking order. Now, what we're seeing here is women cannot assess where you land in the pecking order as quickly as we men can assess where women land in the pecking order. I can take 10 chicks and know immediately where they land in the pecking order. Women, on the other hand, can look at 10 dudes and not know at all where they land in the pecking order. You could have a guy who looks like the unfrozen caveman that could still be the alpha, the #1 dude in the pecking order, just based off his charisma, his humor, his ability to banter, his ambition, his passion, and yes, boys, his frame, and of course, more importantly, where he believes he should be in the pecking order. If I give you 10 guys, how many guys do you think in that group of 10 will actually feel that they are a 10 out of 10? Maybe 1? Probably 0, but maybe 1. If you get that one guy that truly believes he's a 10 out of 10, and I'm not talking lying to himself saying, yeah, I'm a 10 out of 10 because CoachMarkSing says I should be. No. He really believes it. He is going to be the #1 dude. So we have these elements that go up in levels of importance that communicate where you are in the pecking order. And again, I cannot stress enough, what's going on inside your head is the biggest determinant, and girls will eventually figure that out. How do they figure it out? Several ways, one of which is your tonality. If you don't believe that you're enough, you're going to speak to her like she's above you. What happens when you speak to a woman like she's above you? Your voice goes up at the end because she's literally above you. So you say, hey, Kelly, how are you today? That communicates low pecking order status. If, on the other hand, you believe that you're socially above her, you are going to, quote unquote, speak down to her because she's down there. Your voice is going to go down at the end. What's up, Kelly? How you doing today? And when you speak to her like that, that communicates status in the pecking order. So a lot of you guys, again, have it in your mind that how tall you are matters, what you look like matters, what your job is matters, how much money you make matters, and all these other things that you're comparing to other dudes, slotting yourself in the 6th position or the 5th or the 4th position based off these external things that ultimately don't matter when it comes to men attracting women. They matter with women, such as looks matter a lot with women, but let me ask you this. Does her diploma from an accredited university really matter to you? Fuck no. You don't care if she got her diploma from McDonald's University, an online course that took 3 hours of work to generate, and then she has an associate's degree where she can flip hamburgers. You don't care. She's got a banging ass, nice tits, and a hot ass face with some dick sucking lips. You're like, dude, I don't care if she's a trash man or she shovels shit for a living. I don't care if she de-packs poop from people's butts at the proctology clinic. As long as she's banging and she doesn't have shit on her hand when she comes home, I'm good, dude. I'm good. The same thing happens with women. Ultimately, they don't care what your style is, how much money you make, or how tall you are. What they care about is game and frame, how charismatic you are, how you make her feel, how humorous you are, the stories you tell, the ambition you have, the belief systems inside your head, and your frame, your ability to frame control her. And what is frame control? It's leading the conversation, leading her to where she wants to be led, being that masculine presence, all of which I'm going to discuss in the masterclass, including all the frame control reversals, all the hoop theory and requests, all the shit that I teach to my brothers in the 3-month coaching program, I'm going to teach to you frame control, the single most important thing of seducing a woman. And along with your belief in yourself, the 2 most important things when it comes to where you stand in the pecking order. So you just gave yourself a score. I'm a 6, Mark. Yeah, you're a 6. Where you believe you are is where you are. My question for you is, how are you going to change that? How are you going to get up in the pecking order? Because here's another stat, brothers. 20% of the guys sleep with 80% of the women. That means 80% of women are identifying the dudes in the top level of the pecking order and having sex with them. Why? Instinctually, they want to get their genes to pass on to their children because they know a high-value man is going to have high-value genes, which will help their children survive. It's all about survivability. So if you're a 6 in the pecking order, once again, mostly dictated by your beliefs in yourself and your frame, humor, charisma, ambition, if you're a 6, you're not going to get a lot of girls. But the second you nudge yourself up to about a 9, then it's a pussy tidal wave. And I say that to my clients all the time. Usually in the coaching room, I don't like to say it on this podcast because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate, but fuck it, I just got a concussion. That's my excuse. When you get yourself up to a 9 in the pecking order, it becomes an absolute pussy avalanche, more girls than you can handle. And that happens to every single one of my clients. Why? Because we go to work on what's inside their head with NLP, and we teach them frame control, the 2 most important things to attracting women. So again, let's assess where you are in the pecking order, and let's make real tangible moves to push you up in that pecking order to get you to the highest station possible. And no, brother, whether you wear the ring on your thumb or the index finger doesn't matter. Whether you wear a Gucci shirt or a Louis Vuitton jacket, it doesn't matter. It's all about frame, game, belief in yourself. So I want to ask you, what are you doing to raise yourself up in the pecking order? Because make no mistake, don't get it twisted. There is a pecking order, and you are being slotted into a certain place in that pecking order based off everything you present to women. And the looks thing, the height thing, the facial hair and hygiene thing, it matters a little bit, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as what's going on inside your head. Communicate it to women via your tonality, your frame, how you compose yourself, your behavior, which women are assessing constantly. So you take 10 schleps, put them in a room. It's going to take a woman usually about 30 minutes of talking to all the guys to know exactly where each guy is. Think about that, bro. Even the guy who looks like a homeless man, he could be number 1 in the pecking order. Just because he frame controls her, he fucks with her, he teases her, he tells stories, he talks about his passion project, he knows how to portray those high value traits that communicate he's number 1 in the pecking order. There is a pecking order, but not for reasons that you believe. And if you still think it's money and looks and I have to be tall and handsome and dark and all this other bullshit, it's complete and utter crap. Sold to you by the media, sold to you by movies, sold to you by TV shows written by dudes who don't get chicks. Frame, game, belief in yourself, that's where you fall in the pecking order. Ask yourself, have you worked on yourself enough to get yourself to that highest possible level? My guess is probably not. I'm here for you, bro. I have both the 3-month coaching program as well as my exclusive frame control masterclass coming up on the horizon. Let's work together, man. You need to experience what I teach because what I teach works. I hope this has helped clarify some issues for you guys because I know a lot of you guys get stuck on shit that doesn't matter. Let's focus on the things that do matter, frame, game, self-belief, and let's try to get to that highest level. Because again, 80% of women sleep with 20% of the guys. We need to get you to those first 2 spots. Out of 10 guys, if you're either the 1 spot or the 2 spot, you're getting more ass than a toilet seat. So let's think about how we can get you there. Let's work on getting you there and stop dwelling on whether you're going to wear a wrist cuff or a necklace or a dildo strapped to your forehead to try to attract women with your style, because it doesn't fucking matter. It matters a little bit, so I want you to improve it. But what really matters is, again, what's going on inside here. So work on it, boys. It's the most important thing. Once again, boys, I am dropping that link on Monday. The VIP exclusive frame control masterclass, the sickest masterclass I will ever put on, which comes with the bonus of being in a 3-week mini program with yours truly, where we get on the call together and I answer all your questions. That's going to be available starting Monday. So come back, sign up for that. Let's kick it. Let me show you the power of my coaching and my coaching program. the shit works. All right, gentlemen, I do appreciate you listening. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode. Oh, that hurt. That last see you part. Oh, that got me. Ooh. My butthole puckered up and I fucking almost keeled over, boys. Almost lost my shooter marble on that one now. Don't worry though, I'll be back now. I'll be back.